the first meeting, things didn't go so well. But as I just showed you, JaVale has come a long way since then. The biggest challenge he'll face against Dwight is his power and strength. He can't afford to allow Howard to back him down under the basket. McGee will have to offset that strength with quickness and good footwork, much like he did against Shaq and Ben Wallace. Dwight isn't used to boxing out either, so McGee's quickness should allow him to get some offensive rebounds. Howard's clearly the best dominant center in the league, so JaVale has nothing to lose, but something to prove. He's not expected to outplay Dwight, but if he can marginalize him, the Wizards stand a good chance of coming away with a win. When we come back, Buck will have starting lineups and the Papa John's opening tip next on Comcast Sportsnet.
And 4 on the season, 3 and 2 on the road. They beat Cleveland last night by 11 points in Orlando. It'll be Jameer Nelson, J.J. Redick making his third start for the injured Vince Carter, who will miss his third straight game. Howard is 12th in the league in scoring, 4th in rebounding, 5th in blocks, with Quentin Richardson and Rashard Lewis. 51-year-old Stan Van Gundy, now in his 4th season as head coach of this team. He took over for Brian Hill in 2007. He's led them to 2 consecutive 59-win seasons, not to mention the NBA Finals a couple of years ago. Wizards are 5-9 on the year. They're 5-2 here at home, so it'll be Kirk Hinrich with Gilbert Arenas. John Wall will not play tonight, nor will Al Thornton. That means Alonzo G, who actually started 2 games last year for Washington when he played here in D.C., will get the start for Flip Saunders' squad tonight, along with Andre Blatch in the front court. And, of course, JaVale McGee will play center. And Flip will continue to bring Nick Young off the bench because since November 16th, he's been spectacular, averaging 17 points a game.
Yeah, and I really like his consistency, the fact that he's taking good shots, making good plays out there.
Well, on the sideline tonight for his expertise is our pal Chris Miller. Chris.
All right, Buck, thank you. Just to follow up on philosophy earlier in the game about this matchup between JaVale McGee and Dwight Howard. Clearly, if you look at the last 5 games JaVale has participated in, you can tell that he is definitely up for this one because he's staying on the floor. It's really a catch-22 when you're defending Dwight Howard. You want him to go to the free throw line, but you don't want to get in foul trouble. That's the one thing JaVale has stayed away from during these 5 games. And, it will be interesting to see these guys go at it. As Phil alluded to, it's strength versus quickness.
Well, they have gone head-to-head 3 times. That includes the season opener. And as you would imagine, Dwight Howard has huge advantages in points, rebounds, shooting percentage. But it's been a learning experience for JaVale McGee, and he continues to get better every game. Getting set for our Papa John's opening tip as the Wizards come off a troublesome loss in Atlanta on Thanksgiving, 116-96 after that great win over the Sixers here in overtime last Tuesday by 2 points. And this is a back-to-back for the Orlando Magic. They played last night at home against Cleveland, beat them by 11. So without Vince Carter and a back-to-back, maybe the Wizards here at home get a shot at this one.
Well, they certainly, their record indicates that they feel much more comfortable and they're more productive here at home.
Here's Quentin Richardson, dumps it down low to Howard, who is fouled on the play by McGee.
See, he's got to get help from his teammates, too. They can't allow them to swing the ball that quickly because there's no way you're going to get reposition. See, they swing the ball over. Now, all of a sudden, McGee is on the backside, and there's no way he's going to recover and get around to deny that entry pass. And he's just too strong when he's that close to the basket.
Yeah, we've marveled at his strength. I mean, if you look at his arms and his shoulders, it's outrageous. And he uses those to his advantage.
Absolutely.
On that last play, he used his left arm to get some space against McGee, and those are not arms, they're anvils.
That's right, and you can't move through them. So, again, that footwork is going to be very important, but he's got to get help from his teammates.
Here's McGee, who lost the handle and gets it back. And now they go to Alonzo G, who the Wizards signed after he was waived by the San Antonio Spurs. Got his own rebound, and that'll be a traveling violation.
Give a lot of credit to J.J. Redick because that pass would have normally been caught by McGee, but Redick lost his man, but he got in front of JaVale, didn't allow JaVale to get position for the lob.
John Wall bothered by a bruised knee. Of course, he had 4 games missed with a sprained left foot. Richardson guarded by G. Richard Lewis baseline, and no call. He missed the shot. It's over the top and out of bounds.
Well, you heard the oohs and ahs from the fans. They wanted a charge on Lewis, and rightfully so. It looked like Blatche did a real good job of establishing a position, cutting off the baseline, but no whistle.
Wiz come off the Thanksgiving Day loss in Atlanta. Wasn't pretty, 116-96. Gilbert Arenas drives, throws it up, missed it. Fighting for the rebound is Blatche. He has it, that's partially blocked. He gets it back, he shoots again, misses. And the tip by McGee.
That's what they're going to have to do. They're going to have to really, particularly those 2 7-footers, Blatche and McGee, going to have to play patty cake off the glass and keep him active.
Nelson swings it for Redick. Redick has been outstanding in the 3 games that Carter's missed. And Dwight Howard scores inside. He's 12th in the league in scoring, averaging 22 points a game. Howard coming off 23 points last night against Cleveland, 5 of 9 from the field. 11 rebounds. Blatche with a nice move inside.
Seems to always like to get that baseline. If he's able to do that, particularly on somebody like Richard Lewis, he's able to get to the glass and drop the shot in.
Nelson blocked from behind by Hinrich, but Howard gets it and he scores.
It's going to be so important for JaVale. If he goes for a block, boy, he better get it, because if not, that means Dwight's there to clean everything up.
7-4 Magic. Early goings of this game. Steve Buckhantz with Phil Chenier and Chris Miller and our Comcast Sportsnet crew. Here's Alonzo G. And now McGee will try. The quick jump hook is good. Averaging almost 10 points a game. He's 21st in the league in rebounding at just about 9 per game, and he's 2nd in the league in blocked shots at 2.8 per contest. Gilbert makes a nice move on Nelson, who fouls him with contact. And Monty McCutcheon makes the call, working the game with the rookie Kevin Cutler and 7-year veteran Eric Lewis. Well, our Toyota Star Track tonight, and it's my turn for the opposition, so I picked Howard. Duh.
Gee, I wonder why.
Yeah. And you've got Gilbert as Blatche's shot is blocked, and here comes Redick the other way. Howard, McGee already has the 1 foul. For Quentin Richardson's jumper, no good. But the rebound comes down to Lewis. Nelson driving for Richardson. High off the glass, no good. Good defense for Washington, but traveling is called on McGee. Was looking to make a pass, had to move with the ball.
He looked to put the ball on the floor first. You look for the pass first, and then if you don't have any passes, put the ball on the floor. Again, sometimes it's confusing because he's a guy that has a lot of skills. He's capable of handling the ball. You don't want him to necessarily do that.
But John Wall missing the game with a bruised knee. He missed 4 with a sprained left foot. And another injury is Vince Carter missing his 3rd consecutive game. Here's Richardson left alone for a 3, and he buries it. Orlando signed him as a free agent in July after last year in Miami, where he played his first 4 years with the Clippers, then 1 in Phoenix. Hinrich for Blatche, where he nearly traveled. Armstrong, G inside, and Alonzo G lays it in.
You know, that's what impressed this coaching staff last year of Alonzo G. Very strong inside, great leaper, and just stays after the ball.
Wizards signed him to 2 consecutive 10-day deals in March last year. Played in 11 games in Washington. Nearly had the steal. And then San Antonio just up and signed him for the rest of the season, although he didn't play there.
Yeah, and my understanding is he got some extra money as he nearly comes up with this steal, and he's trying to get himself back in bounds, but you can see his quickness that time nearly coming up with the steal.
G is in his second year, went to the University of Alabama, played 4 years there. Here's Richardson for another three.
There's no question why this team leads the league and not only makes from three-point range, but also attempts. They spread you out, so you either give help with Dwight or you're going to give up some open jumpers from three-point range. That shot by Hilton.
Last year, Richardson made 142 threes. That was the second most of his career. Now Nelson will try one, and Hilton Armstrong is there. Arenas pulls up for the jumper, couldn't get the bounce. Armstrong trying to keep it alive, but smacks it out of bounds.
So that was a good shot by Gilbert, and I'll tell you why, because he realized that Hilton had the inside position on Dwight. So even if he misses, he's in a position to get that offensive rebound, much more so if Dwight's kind of hovering around the painted area.
Washington has out-rebounded Orlando 8-2 here in the early going. Howard this time, that's looked like Armstrong got a piece of it.
They've got a piece of it, but that's certainly where you want to keep Dwight.
Heinrich works free for the jumper, a little bit short. He's been getting that open shot the last couple of games and knocking it down. Here's Lewis driving on Blatch. Tough fadeaway for Lewis in the clear out. And that will be a loose ball foul on Washington. And I think they're going to get it on Hilton Armstrong, who cleared out Dwight Howard.
Now, I'm wondering, Hilton is protesting rather strongly, and I'm wondering if Dwight was holding on to his arms once he made contact. There he is right in the middle, boxes him out. And, yeah, I think he's got his arms locked up, won't let him go. So he looks like a kid with his hand caught in the cookie jar.
And that's what he was. As the official made the call, foul on Armstrong. Magic ball when we come back. Thornton are both out. Thornton missing another game. Wall played against Atlanta the other night, but that knee is bothering him. He missed 4 games with a sprained left foot. And then in the Philadelphia game here last week, he was pounced on by one of the defenders and hurt his knee. So for Wall, this is the 5th total game he's missed.
Yeah, and we even saw him limping, as you saw that foul called by Monty McCutcheon on Dwight Howard for moving on setting that pick. But getting back to John Wall, we saw him limping even in that Philadelphia game. So it just wasn't quite 100% then. And hopefully that will heal rather quickly. You know, when you're 19. The body usually heals a little quicker.
Well, he's 20 now, so he's an old guy. Oh. Well, he'll have a day off tomorrow, and then the Wizards will play in Miami on Monday night and in Toronto on Wednesday. Here's Arenas off the glass. Look at McGee crash the boards. Goes up strong, followed by G.
That's the kind of effort we've been seeing from JaVale McGee, and Alonzo G comes in and cleans up the mess.
Also out for Washington, E. Gianlien, who got hurt initially in the same game that Wall did against Chicago, as Howard scores left-handed, and that will be the 2nd personal foul on JaVale McGee.
Yeah, and he hasn't had a lot of, he's only been in there a few minutes. He just got back in. A lot of people say that Dwight Howard doesn't have any low post move. I beg to differ. I think this is a good indication, finishing off with the left hand away from the defender. And plus he gets the foul call. Now here's where this guy really struggles.
Free throw shooting, we know, is not good. Averaging 54% on this season, 104 of 194. Last night, he went to the free throw line 24 times against Cleveland. Made 13 of them.
He's better than 50%, so it's a little bit better than what he's shooting. The shooting percentage went up.
McGee had to come out. Armstrong back in. Arenas for three. Way strong. And good hustle by Hilton Armstrong. Keep it alive. But that's a 24-second violation because the ball never touched the rim. And I'm not sure the Wizards knew about it.
Yeah, that shot by Gilbert went off the backboard but did not get the rim.
How about your keys for this game, Phil?
Well, obviously defending the three. Magic #1 in makes and attempts from there. Washington coming off a poor offensive night. They need to have their best offensive effort. They're going against one of the top defensive teams in the Magic. And, of course, we talked about the foul situation. You don't want your bigs getting in fouls, although you wouldn't mind getting Dwight Howard to the free throw line more than any of his teammates.
Jameer Nelson hits a jumper. Here's Heinrich. Wizards have out-rebounded Orlando 8-1 on the offensive glass. Scored 6 second-chance points, but they trail by 5. Inside Howard, tied up by Armstrong. That's about all you can do. Send him to the free throw line.
Again, I point to some of the perimeter defenders that can help that by making that entry pass a little more difficult. That one coming in from the top by Jameer Nelson. And, of course, Dwight, for 2 seconds, he's going to freeze most defenders behind him. He's just that strong. You're not going to be able to move through, as you said, Steve, move through those arms.
And for more on those arms and Dwight Howard, let's send you over to Chris Miller.
Well, guys, just looking up some numbers today on Dwight Howard, really staggering. In the first 15 games, I mean, he's in the top 5 in 5 statistical categories: field goals, rebounds, blocks, second in the league in double-doubles with 11. But the one number that really stood out to me is he's only playing 34 minutes a game. I asked Flip Saunders about the evolution of Dwight Howard. He said he's still young and he's getting better. He's now added that left-hand hook shot to his game. It's really scary when you see this guy, when he hits his peak, how good he can be.
I'll tell you what was scary this summer. I'm watching TV and I see where he's down in Houston working out with Hakeem Olajuwon, working on his offensive moves. And I mean, you're talking about a guy that's quick, agile, but yet still powerful. And if you add those kind of moves to that strength, boy, you're talking about a real deadly combination.
That winds up being a 4-point play as Howard made a free throw. Richardson snuck in for the rebound, then he hits a 3. So they got 4 out of that possession. (21-12) Orlando. Here's Alonzo G. Nice move, up strong, but Howard is there to contest. Lewis inside, bodied by Kevin Seraphin, who's in the game for Washington, and he'll get 2 shots.
Now, just as we finished talking about our keys, one of them comes into play, and that's the foul situation. You have both Armstrong and McGee each with 2. So that's forced Flip to go a little bit deeper, a little quicker. Kevin Seraphin now in the game, and he picks up 1. So the bigs are mounting up the fouls.
The other thing about Dwight Howard, as Washington will get Nick Young into the game, last season Howard committed more personal fouls than anybody in the NBA, but in the last 3 games he's committed just 3 fouls and he shot 47 free throws, not including
now,
tonight.
how is that possible? I mean, you figure even a mistake could be made, and so he's going to pick up a couple of fouls by just bad call.
You would think, but he's really been efficient with his game. Here's Arenas, who drives, left-handed shot, good. Gilbert savvy enough to know to go to that left hand in there.
Yeah, but also savvy enough to go right at Dwight. If they can pick up another foul on Dwight and force Van Gundy to make some decisions himself.
That last basket by Arenas stopped a 10-0 Orlando run. Nice move by Gilbert from Blatch on the baseline. Knocked out of bounds by Richardson. And a timeout on the floor. 13 on the shot clock. 2:47 to go here in quarter number 1 from Washington, where the Magic lead the Wizards 23-14. Wizards ball when we come back. At home last night, they beat the Cavaliers 111-100, their second straight win. They've now won 6 out of the last 7. The only loss in that stretch was a 9-point defeat at San Antonio last Monday night.
Yeah, I mean, you look at their success over the last 3 or 4 years on the road, and they've been a really tough-minded squad. And had one of the better records coming from the road.
Chris Duhon in the game. He picks up a personal foul. Here's Arenas for the jumper. Good. Gilbert Arenas did not play when these two teams met at the beginning of the season. Gilbert was still bothered by a tendon in his ankle and sat out the opener. Brandon Bass has been simply terrific for this team. That's knocked away, but right to Howard. Turns on Seraphin, off the glass, tip up, no good, kept alive, and Arenas has it. Quickly up to Nick Young. Young racing to the hoop, got hit and fouled. He'll go to the line.
And you know what? I think that was Seraphin that came in and kind of shielded a lane for Young and shielded Howard away from really going after that block shot. Whoever that was a smart decision. See if we can pick it up. See right there in the middle there. Yeah, that's Kevin that took away that potential block.
Hey fellas, gather the guys for the Wizards Guys Night Out on December 3rd against the Trailblazers at 7 o'clock. Package includes pregame all-you-can-eat buffet, unlimited beer, wine, and soda, and a meet and greet with the Wizards girls. VW Penthouse packages are $57. Lower level packages are $75. Call 202-661-5050 or visit WashingtonWizards.com. Washington Wizards live the game. So the Wizards are on a 6-0 run, and they've cut the lead down to 5. The Magic once had it at 11. Flip Saunders trying to get at least a traveling out of that. Richardson inside. The follow slam will not count, and a foul called on Washington. That's unfortunate because I think what Flip Saunders was saying is the ball hit Kevin Cutler, the rookie referee, and he was standing out of bounds.
The ball's out of bounds. Any contact with anything. Let's see. This is a drive by Quentin Richardson. Once again, Seraphin leaves his man Dwight Howard. If you don't come up with that block or direct that ball in another area, Dwight Howard's going to be right there for the putback.
Kevin Seraphin called for his first personal foul, and Quentin Richardson at the line. Correction on Seraphin, his second personal foul. 25-18 Orlando, 1:35 to play in the quarter. Arenas running into Howard. Cartier Martin came into the game for Alonzo G, and he misses the shot. Howard with Seraphin on him. Good defense by the rookie. Redick, 9 to shoot. Redick pulls up for the jumper and hits. Playing with so much confidence right now. In his 5th year from Duke, averaging 7 points a game. Had 15 last night against Cleveland. And made 3 3-pointers. Nick Young off a screen. Got knocked to the floor with no call. Rebound Orlando.
Blatch buying that pump fake by Bass.
Flip Saunders is very, very close to getting kicked out of this game. He is incensed that there wasn't a 3-second violation called on Orlando. Eric Lewis turned around and whacked him, hit him with a technical. And Flip said he was in there for 5 seconds and continued to jaw at Eric Lewis and was very close to getting tossed out of this game.
Well, if that 3-second violation that was passed was Dwight Howard, that gives him a huge advantage, and rightfully so should incense any coach, particularly, well, an opposing coach. I'm sure Van Gundy doesn't mind.
Marcin Gortat will come into the game for Orlando. Meantime, Brandon Bass at the line in his 2nd year with his team. They signed him as a free agent a couple of years ago after 2 in Dallas and his first 2 with the Hornets.
Yeah, I think he could be he could be the missing link for them.
Yeah.
I really do. He's a versatile power forward, but he has a physical game that can complement Dwight. Of course, last year they didn't play him hardly any.
Right.
Yeah, he had 3 or 4 starts, I think, but
A little upset by
yeah,
that.
but his playing time is really up. He's
And
averaging over 21 minutes.
An outstanding shooter.
Yeah.
Has just been knocking shots down with confidence. Last night he only missed 1 in 6 attempts. Arenas baseline finds Seraphin. Gilbert penetrates, gives it up underneath. Seraphin lost it. Now he finds Blatch. They swing it out to Gilbert for the long jumper, not there. Good hustle by Seraphin to keep it alive. Now he shoots and scores.
Good patience on his part. First of all, moving the ball around to the perimeter shooter, but twice he came up with loose balls. That second time he puts it in for him.
Kevin Seraphin, who the Wizards got from Chicago in that deal that brought Kirk Heinrich to Washington. And the rookie from French Guiana is getting more and more playing time, especially with the injuries now to Al Thornton and tonight John Wall. Dwight Howard tonight has been a force inside. He's already in double figures in scoring with 10 points, has a couple of rebounds, 4 of 6 from the field. And he's already been to the free throw 4 times in the quarter. We played one in Washington in the second of 4 meetings between these teams, and the Magic lead the Wizards by 10.
Well, Seraphin committed to setting a good pick, got the perimeter defender out of the way. His man had to step up, and you saw the passing lane come from Gilbert Arenas.
Seraphin was the 17th overall pick in the draft, played in the French Pro League last year.
Just as you spoke, Bass hits an open jumper.
Washington area Chevy dealer statistics from that first quarter.
Both teams with 9 made field goals, but you can see 3 made threes, Washington with none. And also you have Washington with only 2 free throw attempts. Meanwhile, the Magic were 9 for 11 in that first quarter.
Chris Duhon circles the wagons for Brandon Bass. Arenas so far 2 of 8 from the field. Jason Williams in the game for Orlando. Here's Bass. Arenas nearly had the steal. That's partially blocked right to Gortat, out of bounds, and it will be Wizards ball. So the Magic and Stan Van Gundy giving Howard a rest to start this second quarter. He's got Jason Williams in there with Marcin Gortat. Bass, Duhon, and Michael Petrus in the game. Blatch inside on a short jumper.
Well, things are so much more easier when Dwight Howard's not having an impact in the middle.
In fact, the Wizards in the paint have outscored Orlando 18-8. And Van Gundy will take a time. Just underway here in the second quarter. Wizards cut it to 8. That more than once.
And again, I point to the fact that he's really improved his offensive game. He continues to get better, so his 22 points a game is a career best for him. He's already had a couple of 30-15 games. In fact, 21 times he's had 30 and 15 rebounds, 30 points, 15 rebounds. And like I said, it's got to be scary for opponents to think that he's going to get better. He's only, what, 24, 25?
24 years old. That's the most amazing thing about it. He's already in his 7th year. They took him right out of Southwest Atlanta Christian High School. Toyota Star Track update, Howard with 10 and 2. Brandon Bass, the open jumper. This team is so deep, has so many weapons, so many great shooters, and that's what makes them so tough, because you got Howard down low, and of course Gortat, who played great in the playoffs last year. They re-signed him.
Backup.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like him as a backup.
Absolutely. And then you got all these outside shooters. Seraphin's jumper off the rim. Jason Williams has the rebound. Williams got kicked out of a game the other night for throwing a basketball. Gortat blocked by Seraphin and out of bounds, and it's Wizards ball. Good defensive play by the rookie from French Guiana.
We talked about Gortat. He's only started 3 games in his career because he's been with this team the whole time. Those are the 3 games that Dwight Howard has missed, and in those games he nearly averaged a double-double.
Heinrich unfortunately trying to lead that pass inside. It goes the other way for Jason Williams. Not playing too far from home. He's from Bell, West Virginia, played a year at Marshall, then transferred to Florida and played a couple of years. Nick Young in the paint, cups that ball, has it blocked away. Good defensive play, and here come the Magic. Chris Duhon, bounce pass underneath for Gortat. He scores and he's fouled. Every once in a while in this building, you'll hear some chants, Duhon, Duhon. It's for any player that played his basketball at Duke. It's still an ACC area.
Well, to me, J.J. Redick has always been the one that's got the loudest response whenever he comes in. But there's J.J. who getting his 3rd start. You know, we talked about how productive he has been. You know, his 2 starts, he averaged almost 18 points and 5 assists. He's knocking down threes almost at a 50% clip, but in the 11 games as a sub, averaged only 5 points a game. He was 4 for 28 from 3-point range, so this has been good for him. This has been good for his confidence, and certainly he's helping his team.
Redick, another player not too far from home. He's from the Roanoke, Virginia area, Cave Spring High School. Roanoke's about 4 hours from here, south.
Cartier with a nice 3.
Another player who made this team along with Lester Hudson, and Hudson was recently waived to make room for Alonzo G. Here's Williams for the jumper. Gortat the rebound. Marcin Gortat shoots over McGee. Good defensive play. And the rebound to Trevor Booker, another Washington rookie who played at Clemson last year. 4 minutes have gone by here in this quarter. Cartier Martin slips in for the rebound, and he's held by Michael Petrus. Flip Saunders will get Blatch and G back into the game. They'll bring Booker and Martin out. Time for our McDonald's trivia question tonight. Which 4 Southeast Division players were on the 1st or 2nd all-defensive team? Heinrich the open jumper. Chased down by Williams. Quick ball movement to Duhon. Nearly stolen by Washington. G couldn't quite get to it. And the jumper is good.
Okay, Gortat has come in and looked really good. He's got a block. He's got a rebound. Knocks down that mid-range jumper.
40-27 Orlando. Their largest lead has been 14. Here's Blatch on the baseline for the open shot. Missed badly. Brandon Bass. Flip Saunders again, screens for 3 seconds. G again looking to get the steal, making things happen. He does get it with 2 on the shot clock. For Heinrich, who lays it in. Give the credit to Alonzo G for terrific defensive hustle.
And we've seen him several times jump in that passing lane, so he has great quickness and good anticipation.
Pass slips inside. That's rejected by McGee. But the pass was a little short. Duhon looked over his head and intercepted it. Petrus for the long jumper, not good. .6:10 to play, first half. Heinrich open for the jumper. Again, it's a little strong, but he gets his own rebound. Blatch, good move on Bass. Picked up there by Gortat, and he's fouled. Bass knew he had help in the form of Gortat, but he fouled him, and Blatch will go to the line for 2.
Yeah, well, that's why I was playing up so close on Blatch. Blatch able to spin right away from it.
Well, he played last year 11 games in Washington, then San Antonio signed him. But the Wiz got him back on November 22nd. Alonzo G with a steal and the pass for 2 to Heinrich. JaVale McGee playing with 2 personal fouls. He's got 4 points and 3 rebounds. Dwight Howard is back in the lineup for the Magic as Blatch makes the first. Andre Blatch currently 34th in the NBA in free throw shooting at 85%. Another player who's just 24 years old in his 6th year in the league from South Kent Prep High School in Connecticut, whom the Wizards picked their 49th overall back in 2005. Heinrich hounding Williams. Down low for Howard with 5 to shoot. For Chris Duhon with a nice fake to get Nick Young out of the way. But he missed the shot.
Good box out from JaVale McGee.
Young dumps it off underneath. McGee has it, goes up strong and scores, and he got muscled
He sure
by
did.
Howard.
Down low, but you saw he was able to get enough room to gather himself and go up and get a good jump. That was a tough angle to shoot that off the glass.
6 points for him. The Wizards on a 6-0 run. Boy, quick shot underneath by Duhon, and he scored in his 7th year from Duke. Orlando signing him as a free agent in July after a couple of years in New York. Played his first 4 in Chicago. 42-33 Magic. Four seconds for Heinrich. Takes the jumper over Williams, a little short, and kept alive by Rashard Lewis. And stolen away by G. But the Magic get it right back. And a foul on Heinrich.
Well, see, sometimes in a game like this, you won't get. Keep that. He's going to keep him away from the backboard, and he has to work. And if you carry this film all the way through, you notice how Dwight even now slings him kind of out of bounds at the tail end of that. But I mean, you may have a situation where you don't get quite as many rebounds for JaVale, but if you keep the number for Dwight down, then you've done your job.
I have to tell you that Eric Lewis is giving Flip Saunders every opportunity to stay in this basketball game. He vehemently reacted to that call by Lewis, and Lewis looked right at the Wizards coach, but opted for discretion and did not whistle him for another technical. He's already been hit with 1. Rashard Lewis for a 3. Similar frustrations last night for Cavaliers coach Byron Scott, who was upset with the officiating. He said there were 5 white jerseys and 3 with stripes out there. I know there's going to be some bad calls. That's part of the game. They're human. But you can't miss them all night, especially on one end. He also said he fully expects to be hearing from the league soon. And he said, my checkbook's good.
Well, that's a sign of pure frustration there. Wow.
That was
another case, though. Great job by JaVale coming over to force that missed shot. But if he doesn't move that ball in another direction, Dwight Howard is just going to clean up.
47-35 Magic. Wizards have had a couple of opportunities where they stole the ball but gave it right back. They've got 6 turnovers. Here's Redick. Drives on Arenas, bumped by Gilbert, and they'll give him 2 shots. That's number 1 on Arenas. Last season, these teams split 4 games. The Wizards won the first 2 by 7 points here in January. And then that comeback win in Orlando in February when Caron Butler hit the dagger shot at the end of the game. And the Wizards take a timeout. 3:03 to play in half number 1. Magic with a 47-35 advantage. Last year played all 82 games for the first time in his career. Averaged 9.5 points, a couple of rebounds and assists, and was an 86% free throw shooter. He came into this game the #1 free throw shooter in the NBA, making 23 of 24. Tonight he's 3 for 3. Arenas off the screen. That shot's not there. Up high for the rebound and a foul. But he's been very active, hasn't he?
Yes, he has. He has been impressive. That's his 5th rebound. He's also come up with at least 1 steal, several deflections. This shot off from the get-go, and G was the first one to really pinpoint that. He was the first one to react.
Played 11 games in Washington last year, got 2 starts, and one of them was his career high of 19 points, which he had against the Charlotte Bobcats. Played quite a bit in the D-League for the Austin Toros, where he averaged 21 points a game last year. Was not drafted out of the University of Alabama. Jameer Nelson tries the paint with a nice pass to Petrus. That ball knocked away, and G comes up with it. Here's McGee, drives around Howard, got stripped of the ball. Now JaVale takes the jumper, and it's a little long. Petrus, Heinrich knocks it away. Good defender. Drives, shoots, missed, no good. Rebound Booker. He goes up and scores.
He kind of froze Dwight for a minute because Dwight didn't know which side of the rim he was going to go up on. Chose to go to the far side. He was able to get that left-hand flip shot in.
Wizards getting Booker along with Amadi Njai from Minnesota.
Rashard Lewis knocks that down. He's another one. Over his last 4 or 5 years, his numbers have steadily declined.
7 points for Rashard Lewis. Arenas with a nice move on Redick and score the field goal. Arenas will go to the line.
There's that upper body strength that you just, when he's going forward and the defender makes that contact up top, doesn't seem to affect Gilbert. He was able to finish at the rim. Watch him get inside, kind of leans that right shoulder into the moving defender, J.J. Redick. Redick has to sit down. He picked up the foul. That's his 2nd personal.
Arenas had 30 points this season in a game against Chicago. He had 7 3-pointers in that game, which was one shy of his career high of 8. He had his career high in assists a couple of games ago at Detroit with 16. The lead is 10 after the Magic led by as many as 14. Toyota Star Trek, Gilbert. Three-pointer in and out, and a rebound Howard. He got hit and fouled by Hinrich. And let's see who the rookie referee calls the foul on. Well, he's calling it on McGee. I thought Hinrich reached in and grabbed him on the arm, but you could give it to either one.
Yeah, it just seemed like he was going for the block, and it came down kind of tomahawk. Again, you got to put a body on him. You can see he has a body on him at first. You're right. The first contact looked like it would have been Hinrich, but they get the chop from JaVale McGee, which gives him his third.
So Howard to the line at 54%. 2 of 4 tonight, has 14 points. (53-41). Orlando, less than a minute to go. Arenas using a screen from Booker. Gilbert drives and again draws contact. He'll go back to the line. And they'll call it on Jameer Nelson.
Well, that'd be a tremendous plus for Washington if they could start getting to the line. Gilbert not settling outside, a little hesitation move, the reach from behind by Jameer Nelson. They didn't call that. They could have got the contact from Dwight Howard.
3-time All-Star in 05, 06, and 07. Hey fans, beat the holiday shopping rush and celebrate the season with the Wizards for 4 days only, beginning Friday, November 26th until Monday, November 29th. Select Wizards games will be on sale up to $25 off. VW Penthouse tickets starting at $15 and lower level tickets starting at $55. To purchase your ticket, visit WashingtonWizards.com and use the password HOLIDAY. Don't wait, ticket prices this low won't last long. Arenas gets both free throws. Again, the lead is 10 for Orlando. Howard for Lewis. He missed it. Booker is there. Wizards can get this thing to single digits. Six-second difference between the game and shot clock. Arenas works himself for the wide open jumper, but could not hit it. Gilbert 3 of 11 from the field in this game. Duhon, pretty reverse move. And that is the end of the first half. So instead of Washington cutting it to perhaps 8, Orlando comes back the other way and they stretch the lead to 12. Dwight Howard with 14 points and 6 rebounds in the half. Howard 6 of 8 from the field. Collectively, the Magic shoot 49%, holding Washington to just 37.
Rebounded the Magic, but they didn't make any shots. Only 5 turnovers. They only got 10 points off of those. So he said, listen, when you're not making shots, it's really hurting you on that defensive end. Then I asked him about Dwight Howard and the fact that he got 3 of their bigs in foul trouble early in the first quarter. It's really par for the course. Great teams get good calls.
Yeah, that's true. That's the frustration you face when you play great teams and your team struggles. Wiz coming in 5-9 on the year. All 5 wins here at Verizon Center. A record of 5-2 off to their best start here at home in 4 years. But 0-7 on the road. Still looking for that first road win. Latch got that first jumper to cut it to 10. And now Arenas tries for a 3, but there's Alonzo G. Hinrich for 3. That's no good. Wizards shot 37% from the field in that first half. And the 6 Washington turnovers led to 10 Magic points. Foul inside will be called on Blatch.
Boy, that might have been a mental error that time on JaVale McGee because he left Dwight Howard to help double team Quentin Richardson. I don't think that's what defensive strategy calls for. And then it was Blatch that came up with the foul from behind.
Howard with 14 points, 6 rebounds in that first half. Here's Nelson driving over the outstretched arm of McGee, and he scores off the glass. Magic come off a 11-point win against Cleveland last night down in Central Florida. Wizards lost in Atlanta Thursday night, 116-96.
More for Gill in the paint, driving by J.J. Redick.
11 points for Arenas. Again, the lead is 10. Here's Nelson up high again over McGee. 7th year from St. Joe's, all 7 years with Orlando. Denver actually took him 20th overall in 2004 and traded him to the Magic for a first-round pick. Heinrich for another open jumper. Boy, he has struggled with that shot tonight.
He's had some good looks. Many of them right there at the top of the key.
He is 1 for 9 from the field, just not able to get that stroke down, and he commits a foul. And that's his 3rd personal foul.
Well, he stripped the ball earlier in the first half in this fashion. Watched him trying to spin around, but he leaves the ball out there almost in reach of Heinrich, but Heinrich this time gets a little bit too much contact.
Magic by 12. They've led by as many as 14. Steve Buckhantz, Phil Chenier, Chris Miller. Redick's jumper short. Statistician tonight is Brian Taylor with our stage manager Lori Green from Washington, D.C. Arenas drives, draws contact, and he's been doing that now starting midway through the 2nd quarter and carried it on into the 3rd.
Just looking for ways, looking for little seams that he can get through. He's very confident with his ball handling, crosses over. Rashard Lewis helps out, but then he tries to leave him, and then he just follows Rashard Lewis to the basket. Didn't see who they whistled the foul on.
Got it on Redick, his 3rd. Arenas originally injured the left knee 4 seasons ago, April 4th, 2007 here. Tore his cartilage with 1 minute and 51 seconds to play in the 1st quarter after Gerald Wallace banged into him. He had surgery on April 5th. Returned the following year, played the first 8 games, but had his 2nd surgery on November 16th. Missed 66 games, came back in early April, played in the playoffs 4 games against Cleveland, and then shut it down. He missed a total of 69 games that year. And then the season before last, he missed 80. And last season missed 50 after being suspended. So coming into the season, he played in just 57 regular season games the last 3 years. Blatch took a shot to the face. The 2nd time in 2 games that's happened to him. Howard underneath had it knocked away, but before that happened, a foul was called on Arenas. Blatch got hit in the face in the Atlanta game. Got poked in the eye. And takes an elbow from Rashard Lewis here, I believe.
Oh, yeah. Well, he got his head a little too close there and got snipped.
Here is Howard.
When you watch his form, you see that he doesn't get full extension on the release. Watch how he short arms this, even though he makes it.
3 of 6 from the field. He's got 15 points. Most free throw attempts missed, I should say, among active players, or missed it if you like that better, Phil.
I like that.
1,790.
And keep in mind, O'Neal and Duncan have played twice as many years as Dwight Howard. So for him to be that close to them, that's something that he certainly will want to work on and want to improve on.
And he gets those 4 of 7 from the free throw line. Alonzo G, nice move inside, and boy, again, Howard came out and got him with the body. He still scored. Good concentration by G. Now the alley-oop for Howard. It hit the side of the basket. Here's Arenas, 1, make it 2 on 3. Gilbert passes it up to Heinrich for G. Blatch spins, and he's pushed by Quentin Richardson, who did the bulk of his scoring early in the game. And the foul is called on Richardson. Number 1 on Richardson in his 11th year from DePaul. A 10-point lead for the Magic, 14 on the shot clock. Arenas around Petrus, contact by Howard. He got him up in the air. And Gilbert has been extremely active in drawing some contact.
Very aggressive. He's passed up what normally would be outside shots for him, outside field goal attempts, and look for ways to get inside and attack. This time he picks up the second personal foul for Dwight.
Gilbert has made all 5 of his free throws here tonight. He played the first 32 games last year. And then he was suspended by the league on his 28th birthday, January 6th, following the incident in Philadelphia the night before. He missed the final 50 games. Averaged 22.5 points, a career high 7.2 assists last year. Gets that first miss. Now Hinrich, and that works out to be a 4-point play.
That? We saw one earlier for Orlando. Doesn't make Stan Van Gundy very happy. Looks like the Magic going to take a timeout.
Wizards are as close as they've been in a while. They've cut it to 6 with 8:34 to play here in the 3rd quarter. Washington come out and getting a spark from Hinrich and Arenas, their backcourt. It's a 6-point game here in D.C.
On the stretch, it was Dwight Howard made a couple of plays, and then after that, he wouldn't score the rest of the way. Phil, I got to get your take on this. These are 2 guys in LeBron and Dwayne Wade that slash to the basket. They can score in bunches, but how long does it take, do you think, for these 2 guys to really be able to coexist and play the way that everyone expects them to?
Well, obviously a lot of expectation for the whole team, but mainly for those guys, because they're so versatile, they can fill in, and they have filled in so many different situations, but they just can't seem to compensate for the lack of what they have down low and what they have in terms of point guard generating. So until they find a way, well, here's that last play, Gilbert Arenas getting the basket, but they call a charge that nullifies that basket.
That's a Verizon Wireless. You make the call. The rookie referee, Kevin Cutler, said score the field goal, and he called a blocking foul. But the veteran referee, Eric Lewis, overruled that and called an offensive foul on Arenas, much to the dismay of the crowd here at Verizon Center that includes Flip Saunders. He's not really in the crowd. He's on the sideline, but he was incensed.
That could have cut the lead in half with a made free throw.
And you want to wrap up your thoughts on Miami, what they are going through?
Well, I just think the expectation was so high, and I really believe that those players felt like it was going to be a lot easier than it is in terms of gelling and finding a way to combine all of their skills and talents and compensating for the lack of some of the other areas that they don't have.
Yeah, I agree with you. I think they just figured they'd walk out on the court and beat everybody in the league. Nick Young missed it, tipped to Howard.
Of course, the absence of Udonis Haslem and Mike Miller doesn't help things.
And Haslem could be out for the rest of the season. Mike Miller may not be back till January. Here's Michael Petrus for Rashard Lewis, who missed a 3. And look at JaVale McGee get in there for that big rebound. 8.6 rebounds for him. Arenas slips one to McGee. Back to Blatch on the baseline. And now they reset. Gilbert, 8 to shoot. Goes around Petrus, who fouls him. Continuation, and the official says it will count. Score the field goal for Arenas, who's really taken the forefront for the Wizards in this game.
Well, I tell you what, he really is. 7 of his 16 points coming in this quarter, most of them on drives. Watch him get the corner on Michael Petrus, gets around him, a little bit of contact. He's whistled for the foul. You have an and-one situation. Boy, Gilbert has been very aggressive, especially in this quarter.
Now 7 for 8 from the free throw line. He's got 17 points. He's missed all 4 of his long-range shots tonight. He's only 5 of 14 from the field, but he's been getting in that paint, drawing contact. Wizards have cut this lead from 14 to 5. Howard backs in McGee, shoots, misses. Rebound Blatch. And McGee took a shot to the throat, it looks like. He's slow to get down court. Arenas, they've got the side cleared for him. Tough jumper, no good. G knocked it, but it hit off of Rashard Lewis. No, it didn't. They're going to say it's Orlando ball. I thought Lewis might have touched it.
I thought he touched it too.
This game is the closest it's been since it was 15-12. Redick. Good steal. McGee cuts inside. He got wrapped up by Lewis, and they'll say before he had a chance to get the shot off.
Again, that's what I'm talking about. This guy has so many skills. Sometimes it's confusing when not to use them. And here he's bodying up to Dwight Howard. Boy, catches an elbow as he was going up, but a good stop there. Watch him use his footwork. That's what we said was going to be key, to utilize the quickness and the footwork. He steps in front of Dwight, and then he's able to handle it all the way up court. You much prefer him to give the ball to the guard, but he has the capacity, he has the capabilities of handling the ball.
He can do it. We're in the penalty situation, so 2 shots for McGee. That one's strong and off to the left. And we saw him do that last year. We saw him do it the first couple of years. The difference, I think, so far this year, he's learning, which he needs to do. He only played 2 years of college ball. He's becoming much more judicious with the ball. He's making wiser decisions this year than he's done in the past.
And he's also putting more of his energy in the area that Flip and the coaching staff want him to. That's rebounding, blocking shots, and scoring on second chance points.
Washington enjoying a 10-2 mini-U storage run here. Cross court, here's Petrus. In for Howard. Driving on McGee, that's stolen away from behind. Alonzo G with his 4th steal. Arenas for 3.
And if there's another knock on Dwight Howard, it's that he has high turnover numbers.
That is the first 3-pointer of the game for Arenas and his 25th consecutive game with at least 1 3-point field goal made. He's got 11 in the quarter and a foul called on Orlando. It's on Jameer Nelson. The Wizards have outscored the Magic 13-2. This crowd comes to its feet as Washington has cut this lead to 1.
JaVale McGee coming out, getting a well-deserved rest. Good job, young man. Hilton Armstrong replacing him. Jameer Nelson on that last play tried to slip through that pick. It was JaVale that set the pick, stood his ground, and they got the foul on Jameer Nelson.
Arenas can give Washington the lead. We are tied for the first time tonight as Brandon Bass comes in for Lewis. Arenas now 8 of 9 from the line. We mentioned the 25 consecutive games with a 3-pointer made. That leads the league. And for the first time tonight, the Wizards have the advantage by 1, 64-63, battling back from 14 points down.
13 points in the quarter for Gilbert.
Howard, this time against Armstrong, who fouls him. Dwight scores. He'll go to the line for 1. Hilton Armstrong picks up his 3rd personal.
Dwight trying to muscle his way in, and again, it's hard to withstand that kind of pressure, but what a nice move and finish, the reverse spin.
The 5th player in NBA history to lead the league in rebounding for 3 or more consecutive years. And very resilient. He has played all 82 games each season except the year before last. Wizards turn it over. Here's Nelson the other way. Alley-oop for Howard.
Well, this team doesn't run a lot, but you can see they certainly have the kind of players that can get out and run. Dwight Howard able to capitalize.
Flip Saunders very quickly takes a timeout. As Washington took the lead, but a couple of consecutive baskets by the Magic, and they're back up by 4 with a timeout in Washington. In the league at 8.7. Second in the league in block shots per game, averaging close to 3 per game.
He's also set a personal best of 5 consecutive games of 10 or more rebounds. And hopefully that will continue to 6 tonight.
He had a string for a while of 7 straight games with 2 or more blocks in a game.
Now that ended
in Atlanta,
the Atlanta game, but he has 2 tonight. He does have a string, which is a league leading string of 24 now, 25 consecutive games with at least 1 block shot.
McGee rests G at the line. You really, we are reminded why we thought so highly of this young man, and not only this Washington team, but San Antonio thought so much of him. They signed him to some guaranteed money last year.
They did, because they knew what was on the Wizards' mind was to sign him for the rest of the year, and then of course bring him into training camp, and they wanted to have him in their camp and as they made their playoff run.
He wound up not playing any games for San Antonio, sat during the playoffs, and then they waived him just about a week ago. Howard spins inside off the glass. He missed it. Blatch there for the rebound with Armstrong. 68-65 Orlando after the Wizards took a brief 1-point lead. Nick Young left alone. That can be dangerous.
Not far from the spot that he hit the game winner against Philadelphia. Nick ties things up.
That's his first field goal. It's a 3-pointer. He's got 5 points. Nelson drives baseline. Chased out of there by Armstrong. He stepped on the line and turned it over.
I think that was Nick Young that reached back just enough to force him to get down low with that ball. He lost his footing, I guess. But Washington, all 5 guys have to and are right now being productive defensively.
This game's a little bit different than the season opener in Orlando, where the Magic won by 29 points. We're tied here now at 68. Quentin Richardson. And his pass was errant, looking for Howard. Stolen away by Blatch. Nick Young will try again. He just missed it. Blatch battling for the rebound, keeps it alive. Arenas fires for Young. He'll shoot again.
That
Great
was made possible.
Play.
Yeah, I was going to say that was made possible by Blatch. The hustle, second, third effort to get the ball, and then didn't force anything. Kicked it out. They moved the ball around to the open man.
And Arenas passed up an open shot to get the ball to Young. He knows how hot Nick Young has been. Armstrong wraps up Howard.
Boy, I guess you have to wrap him up, but I thought that Howard was very close to maybe getting a charge. He dipped that right shoulder into Hilton Armstrong. Washington doing a terrific job on the offensive glass. Here's that effort we talked about. Tipped it a couple times. Now he kicks it out. Gilbert has a shot. He passes it. Nick had just missed the 3. This time he steps inside the 3, knocks down the mid-range shot.
Dwight Howard to the free throw line, where he's 5 of 8 tonight.
Clearly, you've got to anticipate some misses here, so everybody has to be prepared to go in and rebound this second attempt from the line.
Kevin Seraphin comes in. Hilton Armstrong comes out. Last night, Howard went to the line 24 times in their win over Cleveland, made 13 of them.
Well, he's 5 of 9 tonight.
Misses them both. Sometimes that's all you can do with him, is take a chance to send him to the line. Howard has missed all 5 of Orlando's free throws. The rest of the team is 9 for 9. Alonzo G on the baseline. Now he's trapped. Seraphin has to shoot. lost the handle, and the Wizards turn it over.
Got to be aware of that clock. Keveen will get to know that and understand that when it gets down to 5-6 seconds, you got to be thinking score.
9th Washington turnover. Howard again, and that's 2 points off the turnover, so 16 points for Orlando off of Washington's mistakes here tonight. Tied at 70, 1:48 to play, third quarter. Arenas challenges, lost the ball. It's on the floor and picked up by Orlando. Three-point shot for Michael Petrus. Comes in averaging 7.5 points a game, the 17th best three-point shooter in the NBA. Blatch pestered by Bass. Arenas works free for the jumper, rimmed it. G keeping it alive. Still on the floor. Seraphin lost the handle, and it's picked up by Duhan. Blatch.
Boy, good job by Nick Young to advance the ball quickly to the wing. And once Blatch got it, it was one dribble and to the rim.
They'll put 0.6 of a second back up on the clock. 73-72 Magic as we wind down things here in the third quarter. Seraphin working hard on Howard, and he fouls him. Meantime, Andre Blatch with 10 points, 10 rebounds, his 4th double-double of the year.
Well, keep an eye on Keveen right there, trying to body up and keep him out away from the basket. All you got to do is look at some old footage of Wes Unseld. That's what he used to do, bang guys, get them outside of their comfort zone, and that's what Seraphin is trying to do with Dwight, get him a little bit further, a step or two away from the basket.
Howard makes that one. Is the only player on the team that's missed any free throws tonight. Now 6 of 11, 24 points, 8 rebounds for Dwight Howard.
Again, no excuse not to be prepared for a missed free throw. So everybody, all 5 guys, you can see both Nick and Gilbert prepared to come in to help out.
Misses the second. Had 23 points last night, 11 rebounds, a couple of blocks in their 11-point win over Cleveland at home. Arenas runs over Duhan. That's an offensive foul. Four on Arenas.
Well, here's the move here. Very close, could have gone either way. I'm not quite sure or convinced that Duhan really had established position. Gilbert definitely is not convinced.
Arenas will come out of the game. Cartier Martin checking in his 3rd year from Kansas State.
The question is, how long will Flip leave Gilbert out? Because he's been so effective. 14 of his 22 points, or 13 I should say, coming in this quarter.
Shot clock is off. Duhan looking for help, finds Michael Petrus. Petrus gets the jumper off, misses, tip no good at the buzzer, and that is the end of what was a very productive third quarter for Washington. They trailed by 12 at the half, but outscored this team 29-19 in that quarter, led by Gilbert Arenas, who had 13 points in the period. But the Wizards were unable to capitalize late as they turned the ball over 3 times in their last 4 possessions. We've got a quarter to play as Washington looks to avenge that early season loss, trailing the Magic by 2. 84 times they've played. These two teams will play again February 4th here. Underway in the fourth quarter from Washington, Steve Buckhantz, Phil Chenier, Chris Miller, our Comcast Sportsnet crew. Here's Quentin Richardson. Knocked away. Martin picks it up. Bass has it. Draws Blatch into the air, and Andre could do nothing but
shot
end
clock
at one.
That hurts. That hurts.
Yes, it does.
I mean, they played good, solid defense. A couple times got some deflections and some strips, just not able to come up with it. And it leads to a chance for Orlando to get two.
Brandon Bass, 2 of 2 from the line so far tonight. The 12th best free throw shooter in the league. Hey, Wizards fans, call 1-800-XFINITY now and ask about the Xfinity Triple Play featuring the best in on-demand that you can now watch on your TV and online. Bass misses, but the follow tip is up and in by Richardson, who snuck in there. That really hurts.
We're playing close, tight games. You've got to pay attention to details. Little things like that, you can't allow them to hurt you.
Gilbert Arenas, who has 22 points, starts the quarter on the bench with 4 fouls. Nick Young for 3.
Well, they've really picked up their three-point game. 5 of 13 as a team. Nick with 2 of them.
Since November 16th, he leads all NBA players off the bench, averaging 17 points a game.
And again, it goes back to that confidence that he's been displaying.
Howard misses on the reach-in. And a technical foul has been called on Orlando. I'm guessing it's on Howard. We'll see.
Well, it was interesting. I saw the official raise his hand, but I didn't hear a whistle, but he was waiting for the play possession to be determined. He thought he got fouled.
Heinrich will shoot the tee. We'll show you Howard's reaction.
That's an interesting exchange. He felt like he got fouled by McGee.
Well, Howard walked over to Flip Saunders right in front of us and said, kind of laughed at him and said, well, you didn't get a tee and I got a tee. And Flip looked at him and said, I did get a tee. We both got one.
That's right.
77-76 Orlando.
Sure, both of them can afford it.
That's an offensive foul on an attempted pick set by Trevor Booker, and they got him for moving. Something I think that really the rookies, I know the veterans have a tough time too in staying set when they set those picks, but the rookies really are learning a hard lesson this year with that.
Yeah, and you got to know how to do it in a more subtle way.
Nick Young for 3. That was tipped on the rim, and it is basket interference. I believe it's goaltending.
Yeah, that was Dwight Howard
Orlando.
that was in there, so that should be a 3, right?
It is a 3. It's goaltending. The ball was in the cylinder.
Well, you had some other hands in there too to watch, but it's Dwight that makes contact.
Yep.
But JaVale's hands were in there as well as Trevor Booker.
That's a 3-point shot. Gives the Wizards the lead by 2. Howard backing in, jump hook, missed it. Tip taken by Heinrich. That's as good a defense as you can play on Dwight Howard.
Oh, you're right.
Young trying to get free. Here's Heinrich. Heinrich from McGee inside. He got hit, no call, and now the call is made by Eric Lewis, and they'll call it on Duhan. Good pass inside to the cutting McGee.
Well, even better penetration from Kirk Heinrich. He kind of split 2 defenders, switched up on. They thought he was going all the way to the baseline, but
McGee 1 for 2 tonight. Washington on a 7-0 run. And he misses. Here's this defense we were talking about on Howard.
a good job trying to keep him away. Gets that shot and then had 5 guys crashing the boards. Martin and Hinrich. Hinrich comes up with the rebound.
Wizards have out-rebounded the Magic by 12, 42-30, and McGee misses 2 free throws. Would have added to the 7-0 Washington run. Howard with some help defensively. They swing it to Redick. Redick works open for the jumper, and that's a backbreaker. J.J. Redick, who has started the last 3 games for Vince Carter. Last night had 15 points. Nick Young with a fading jumper.
Well, that was perfectly timed. Just as he was curling off that pick, Hinrich delivered the pass. Didn't have to break stride.
3 minutes have gone by here in the fourth. Duhon inside with nowhere to go. Howard pulls it down, and traveling called on Dwight Howard. That is the 12th Orlando turnover, which so far has led to 19 Washington points. Meantime, Nick Young has 8 of the Wizards' last 9 points. They lead by 1. Verizon Center. Marines.com leaders of the game. Arenas with 22 points, Flash with 12. Here's Nick Young, fading jumper, got it! He has been something special since mid-November. He has 15 of Washington's last 18 points. Wizards with their largest lead of the game, 3 points. Redick, Lewis for 3.
Everyone rebounding, even the guards. Hinrich pulling down another one.
Last year, these teams split 4 games. The Wiz won the first 2. Nick Young again!
Yeah. They've spotted a good thing. Redick can't do much with Nick, especially now. Nick has it going.
The run for the Wizards is 13-3. See Nick Young, 18 or more points in 6 of the last 7 games. Richardson spins on Martin, draws contact. But good play, though. They didn't let him get to the glass and made an impact. He'll go to the line for 2. Nick Young with 17 of Washington's last 20 points in this game.
Yeah, and the offense is playing it smart. He's got the hot hand. They're force-feeding Nick, and he's delivering.
Quentin Richardson, 80% free throw shooter, will get 1 more. He's got 14 points tonight, 3 of 3 from the line. Makes them both. Had surgery a few years ago, got a little bit heavy, but has gotten his body in much better shape. Nick Young again, scores again!
Well, Van Gundy decided to put the much bigger, much better defensive-minded Petrus on him, but at this point, it may not matter.
Jameer Nelson misses a 3, and Cartier Martin clears. Washington by 5, their largest lead. Nick Young has made his last 7 shots, and that's a foul on Orlando.
At this point, they are going to be trying to keep the ball out of Nick Young's hands, so they don't mind picking up that foul. If Orlando's in the penalty, then they will just let JaVale McGee take shots. But this one, Petrus all over Nick, but it doesn't matter. He's got radar now.
For Nick Young, the 5th game this season that he's scored 20 or more points, all of them off the bench. He's got 21 tonight, 14 in the quarter. Here he is again. And he throws it away, looking for Hinrich at the last second.
Well, he did a good job turning Petrus around. And I think everybody here just figured he was going to pull the trigger, instead tried to find Hinrich.
87-82 Washington. That's an interesting call as McGee and Howard battling down low, very physical. They called McGee for grabbing, although Howard looked like he tried to fend him off with that right arm.
I mean, you can move your feet, but you can't fend somebody off with that arm, which is what it looked like we saw him do.
So McGee comes out of the game with his 5th personal foul. Now Hilton Armstrong will try. And Howard, that's tipped up on the rim. It will be goaltending as Blatch got it when it was in the cylinder.
Well, some of the Wizards are saying that was Rashard Lewis that made contact with the ball. We get a second look.
Good angle here.
Boy, it's even then hard to tell if that was Blatch or Lewis.
I think it was Blatch, but still that ball was clearly on the rim. Here's Arenas. Gilbert lost the handle, now gives it up to Blatch. Nick Young again. Young splits defenders for the jumper, not there. Rebound Richardson. 87-84 Washington. Again they go to Howard, now Blatch is on it. Stripped away from Lewis. 6:10 to play. Blatch backing in on Lewis for Heinrich's long jumper. Good for 3! Wizards by 6, their largest lead of the game. That's blocked. Out of bounds. Orlando ball with 9 on the shot clock, so they didn't reset it. And a timeout taken by Flip Saunders and company. Kirk Hinrich, who had been struggling from the field tonight, just came up with his 2nd three-pointer of the game, and it was huge, giving the Wizards their largest lead of the night.
The last to touch the ball.
Hinrich goes for the steal. Nelson underneath, jumper no good, rebound taken by Armstrong. Wizards are 7 of 8 from the field in this, the 4th quarter. Nick Young, 6 of 7.
I think they still would like to get that ball in Nick's hand to see if he still has that hot hand.
They'll try Arenas. He misses a 3. Gilbert 1 of 6 from long range tonight. Richardson spins on Arenas, blocked away from behind by Gilbert. .449 to play in regulation. Wizards by 6. Jameer Nelson pulls up and hits a 3.
Jameer Nelson the other night in Miami, or against Miami, that was in Orlando, really took charge in the 4th quarter and did a lot of damage to keep Miami away from trying to make the comeback.
He had 20 points last night against Cleveland. He made a couple of 3-pointers. Here's Hilton Armstrong for the jumper. Off the glass, no good. 90-87 Washington. Richardson for 3. Tipped out and taken by Quentin Richardson. Here's Michael Petrus.
You can tell they have guys that are not afraid to take 3-point shots.
And they can make them, those guys.
Yeah.
Richardson, 3-point shooting specialist. Petrus, Rashard Lewis. 3-point shots there at your screen. Arenas the jumper, good. 24 points for Gilbert Arenas. Washington by 5, 3.5 minutes to play. Blatch jumped out to cover on Nelson. But Nelson, the crafty veteran, with a little contact, and his reaction, they call the foul on Blatch. And let's check in for more on Nick Young with Chris Miller.
Well, 14 of his 21 points have come here in the fourth quarter. What you might not know about Nick Young, he's very superstitious. Before games, he doesn't like talking, and if the team is leading at halftime, he doesn't want to talk, regardless of how he's playing, because he feels like that's going to have an impact on his game. But one thing I have noticed, guys, in these last 5 games, Nick's confidence is at an all-time high, and I think it's starting by what he's doing on the defensive end has helped him on the offensive side as well.
Yeah, and obviously he's gotten in that groove. And I tell you what, that game winner that he hit the other night against Philadelphia, and it's kind of ironic that he's had several opportunities, but the first one I remember his rookie year was a game in Philadelphia. He had gotten hot in the fourth quarter, and they decided to really go with him. And didn't make that, but he finally got his game winner.
More 20-point games off the bench than anybody in the NBA. 21 tonight. Could save you 15% or more on car insurance. Your Washington area Chevy dealers. Find great vehicles on ChevyFirst.com. And by Capital One, what's in your wallet? 16,435 in attendance here tonight. Happy holidays to one and all. The Wizards leading the Magic 92-89. It's the first time this year that Washington has faced a team with a better than 500 record here at Verizon Center. They are 0-4 against teams with an above average record. All of those teams they faced were on the road.
You just saw a shot of Nick Young in the second half, and I'm sure Flip Saunders wants to try and get the ball in his hands. The last couple possessions, he's not been able to get it. And Nick has proven to be a tremendous streak shooter, and sometimes when he's really got it going, not a lot you can do with him. He can get his own shot off. He can finish strong at the rim. And Gilbert has been successful getting to the free throw line tonight. Should mention that.
He's 10 of 11. Making 11 of 12. He's the 37th best free throw shooter in the league so far this season. And the Wizards again lead by 5. Steve Buckhantz, Phil Chenier, Chris Miller, happy holidays to you and all the folks watching around the country on NBA TV. Tough shot by Rashard Lewis. His 13th year in the league from Alif Elsik High School in Texas. His 3rd year in Orlando. A lot of players on this team right out of high school. Here's Nick Young again for a tough jumper. Just missed the tip up, no good. That'll be a loose ball foul on.
As Blatch was trying to tip it, yeah, somebody was grabbing him or fouling from behind. I think Blatch thought at first they were going to call basket interference.
That's what I thought.
Okay, watch the right side of your screen. And there from behind is Quentin Richardson with the hand in the back. Good call.
JaVale McGee is back in the game for Washington. Here's Arenas guarded by Richardson. Gilbert draws contact. Couldn't make the basket. He wanted it badly. But he got that first step, which he's become so famous for.
Well, also, he has that knack for instinctively understanding when that whistle blows and going to complete his shot, possibly for an and one.
Look how tight this game is statistically, not to mention the score.
Yeah, well, the fact that Washington was shooting about 36% in that first half shows you how much their shooting has improved. Up to 45% now.
Arenas has missed just 1 free throw in 13 attempts. He's got 27 points. That one's a little short and rims off. 4-point Wizards lead with 2:09 to play. Richardson the jumper. Tough shot for 3. 20 points for Quentin Richardson. He's made 4 3-pointers in the game.
Quentin just playing Gilbert without the ball, trying to keep it away from him.
Heinrich couldn't get it. The follow by McGee. It went off his arm. He was hustling for it. Couldn't quite grab it. Boy, Heinrich really wanted that shot. He knew he had to go up high over Howard, and it just rimmed out. So it's a 1-point Wizard lead with 1:40 to play. Nelson lays it off for Howard, who is wrapped up by Nick Young, and they'll send the big man to the line for 2. 6 of 12 from the line tonight is Dwight Howard. Chris Duhon comes in for Quentin Richardson. 26 points, 10 rebounds for Dwight Howard tonight.
Well, that was a good foul by Nick Young, because no way he was going to get to that ball. He was actually behind Dwight Howard. Fans, including Josh Howard, trying to distract Howard, but Dwight Howard, that is.
Big free throw for him. Last year, the Magic had their 3rd consecutive 50-win season. In fact, they won 59 games for the 2nd year in a row. Huge free throws for Dwight Howard. He gives his team the lead by 1. Orlando has countered the Wizards here, outscoring them 7-1 after Washington led by as many as 6. Hey fans, stick around for Geico's Sportsnet Central at 10 o'clock. It's the college football regular season finale, and Comcast Sportsnet has it covered like no one else. The Hokies and Hoos duke it out for the Commonwealth Cup in Blacksburg, while the Terps look to play spoiler and put themselves in a position for a good bowl game. They hosted NC State this evening. Complete post-game reaction from Blacksburg and College Park, plus much more tonight at 10 on Geico's Sportsnet Central. Magic come in with a record of 3-2 this year on the road. Since Van Gundy, 07-08, the Magic have the 3rd best road record percentage-wise in the NBA.
And look at this down here. Before that, 30% winning. So big turnaround.
Blatch for Gilbert for the open jumper. Big shot. He got free from Michael Petras, and he knew when he received the ball he was going to have a good look at the basket. 29 points for Arenas, his season-high 30 against Chicago.
Boy, they've got to keep Lewis still. Rashard Lewis close to setting a moving pick, but didn't matter. Washington defended it. JaVale came up with a big rebound.
His 7th. He's got 9 points. Fans come to their feet in the phone booth. Blatch for Arenas. Gilbert the jumper. In and out. Wizards by 1, 36 seconds to play. Nelson. Howard underneath, the short jumper good. But Saunders takes time. 30 points for Dwight Howard. And none bigger than those 2 right there to give his team the lead by 1. And you can see a 2-second difference between the shot clock and the game clock for Washington. Well, Washington has hit some huge baskets here at home. They've won 5 games. In fact, all 5 of their wins have come here at Verizon Center. Cartier-Martin to send the game into overtime in a game they eventually won against Philadelphia. Then the follow slam against Memphis by JaVale McGee. And again, against Philadelphia, Nick Young for what turned out to be the game winner. 2 overtime victories by this Washington club against Philadelphia this year, sending Doug Collins and his crew out of here devastated. And then that win against Memphis. So they've hit some big shots at the end of games. It looks like they'll need to do one here tonight.
I was going to say, it's going to call for another one.
Magic have 1 timeout left and 2 20s. The Wizards are out of full timeouts. They have a 20. Both teams in the penalty. There have been 10 different lead changes all in this half of basketball. Another tremendous night for Nick Young off the bench with 21 points.
And see, all these games we've talked about, other than the Memphis game, I believe that was, he shot 50% or better. Tonight doing the same thing, 8 of 15, and boy, he really had that stroke going in the second half. Look at his field goal percentage by year. Last year 42%, but right now shooting right at an even 50% from the field. And that includes a career high 11-point average.
Arenas with Young, Blatch, McGee, and Heinrich. 2-second difference between the game and shot clocks. Gilbert, short jumper, climbs the rim and in. And Van Gundy will take timeout. Season high 31 points for Gilbert Arenas. He has the last 9 points for Washington.
Yeah, no, they don't want to call him Agent Zero, but boy, he sure looks like that old guy that we used to see. Driving to the basket tonight, 12 of 14 from the free throw line here. Isolates the floor, gets the one-on-one matchup he wants, gets a kind roll in, puts his team up by 1. And you would love to run that clock down more, but regardless, Orlando, if they get the rebound off a missed shot, they still were going to get their hands on the ball, get one more possession.
So now if you're Van Gundy, do you try to get it into Howard, see if they foul him, send him to the free throw line, or do you work to one of these great shooters for a jumper?
Yeah, well, I think you got to go into Dwight, but then again, that's what scares you is the fact that he's not really a good free throw shooter. You give the foul, and you can come up empty-handed. But Washington's defense, especially in the second half, has been a lot better. JaVale McGee with the block. He's really worked hard on Dwight Howard, even though the rebounding and some of the other numbers may not reflect it. That was just a great steal. And again, moving the foot, moving the feet, using his quickness to beat him to the ball, and just trying to distract, get those shots down, get the shooting percentage down. Dwight Howard with a 30-10 game, but he's had to work for them, and JaVale's been a big part of that.
Wizards coming off a 20-point loss at Atlanta on Thanksgiving evening. After the overtime win against the Sixers here last Tuesday. And the Magic in the second game of a back-to-back. They beat Cleveland last night, 111-100 in Orlando, their second straight win. They've won 6 out of the last 7. (99-98) Washington. The shot clock is off. 13.2 seconds to play. Nelson splits defenders, shoots over McGee. That's short. Howard got it on the rebound, and he put it in. What a great play by Dwight Howard to grab that rebound and put it in all in one motion.
Well, 2 things. Number one, he was not to be denied. Actually came down on Kirk Heinrich after he made that shot, but there's no way Kirk was going to keep him away from the basket. And once again, JaVale did everything he could to try and get that blocked shot, but Jameer Nelson just threw it so high up he couldn't get to it. Now that means you have a guard trying to stop Dwight Howard from getting that missed shot. That's not going to happen.
You can't even describe how good a play that was by Howard. He knew the ball was short and that he was going to reach up and take it right out of the air and put it right back up and in.
Yeah, and that's good for another reason. I mean, it took away the possibility of fouling him because he puts it right back up.
Yeah, that quickly. Updating our Toyota Star Track. Howard having a big night with 32 points, 11 rebounds. Gilbert Arenas.
Well, this has been a good one.
Yes, it has. Season high for Gil with 31. 4 3/10 seconds to play in regulation. Arenas and Heinrich with McGee, Young, and Blatch for Washington. Arenas drives, puts it up, just missed it at the buzzer, and the Magic hang on for a 1-point win here in Washington. A hard-fought game by the Wizards, battling back from 14 down, taking a 6-point lead, and giving Orlando all they could handle here tonight, but just unable to get the win at the end.
It was good effort. You saw how calm Gilbert was. Still had time to get that shot off. Wanted to get a comfort level, but I think that was Petrus on him, and he's a tough defender, about 6'5", 6'6", and he stays right with him until the last minute, releases him to Dwight Howard. Dwight makes you think about a shot in there. Gilbert just comes off the back of the rim, and Washington comes up a little short.
Gilbert Arenas finishes with 31 points. Dwight Howard had 32. It was a magnificent ball game here tonight, and just one of those kind that, especially if you're this Washington team which has struggled against squads above 500, it's a very, very tough one to lose.
Yeah, but this is a team that obviously has been tough for them to match up with, especially with Dwight Howard, but also the perimeter game. And you really have to admire the way they fought back and came back, especially in that second half.
So the Magic improved to 12-4 on the year, beating the Wizards here tonight. We invite you to join us for our next telecast Monday when the Wiz travel to Miami to take on the Heat. Coverage begins at 7 o'clock with Wizards Central. Up next after the break, Phil, Chris, and I will join Michael Regai and Ron Thompson for Wizards Postgame Live. Once again, our final, the Magic 100, the Wizards 99, as we head back to the Sportsnet Central for an update with Brent Harris.